Hey, what's up, beautiful souls? Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope that this message reach you in a center loving place. Today, I wanted to talk about linear thinking, um, the dualistic reality, the third dimensional reality that we live in here on earth, and how we recognize it within ourselves and become aware to ascend and break that dualistic thinking. you know, Part of the systems design, the controlling system that bees, whatever that is, that bees, there's a bee outside of the window. The controlling system that is it keeps us shackled in the dualistic reality of right and wrong, and the reality of good and bad. Um, Police first, citizens at this moment, um, and it's by design. I used to say the system's broken, but it actually is working at a premium right now. Especially as we approach an election cycle, they really ramp up the red versus blue, the Black Lives Matter versus the racist. And folks, it's okay to see points on both sides. You don't have to pick a side. Thinking is not linear. Use your critical thinking skills. Black Lives Matter have a lot of beautiful points. There's also the fringe of the group that likes to break shit and destroy shit, and it's sad because it really tarnishes the message that the heartfelt Black Lives Matter movement actually is trying to convey, and that's generational trauma, systemic racism, which is a very real thing coming from somebody that works within the system. I see it all the time. That doesn't mean that I think you should go out and burn shit down or destroy buildings. I don't think that at all. I think it's horrible. I think a lot of people spend their whole lives trying to build dreams and build a company and build a energy flow as far as monetary value goes for their life, so they can provide for their family in a way that they enjoy and in a way that they desire. So I absolutely don't condone burning stuff down. But on the other end of that, in this linear thinking or non-linear thinking, excuse me, when we don't heed lessons and we leave people unheard and don't make changes, lessons get louder. Lessons get louder. You know, a few years back, it was Colin Kaepernick taking a knee during the national anthem, and that threw the whole country up in arms and split us into that good versus bad, that, black versus white, or whatever the two sides is. Man, we are multidimensional beings. We are not meant to think good, bad, right, wrong, black, white. There's gray. There's a whole spectrum of light that we get to choose from, and the way they control us is by using the media and using these heavy-hearted talking points to pin us against each other. And it is so crucial to think outside of the box and turn your televisions off and do your own research. If there's something that strikes you and resonates with you, dive deeper into it, and don't go towards the main media sites. Read articles, read other people's perspectives. Don't take the machine's word for what you should believe. Because there are amazing cops. There are people that are called to service that the last thing they want to do on this earth is harm another human being. Not all cops are bad. Do we need police reform? Absolutely. Do they need more training? Absolutely. Coming from a former officer, training is gaffed off, and I talked about that in another video, so I won't go too far into it, but you don't have to pick a side. There's only one side, and that's humanity. And we are capable of so much when we come together. Unity is so powerful. Community is so powerful. So don't allow the design system to separate and control us, to make you argue with your family members, to make you lose friends, to make you choose sides. It's time we come together, folks, and realize that this is all by design. How many times are we going to keep repeating these same cycles, and speaking on a linear plane, there's so many layers to every issue that no pun intended, but it's not black and white. And we have to realize that there's a spiritual aspect of it. There is a three-dimensional aspect of it, and that people allow them to shackle us to the three-dimensional thinking. But there are ways, there are solutions, and the system that we currently reside in that's crumbling as we speak, it's on its last leg, and new paradigms are being ushered in, and new ways of thinking are being ushered in. And that's part of my soul mission, is to just talk about these things and to bring these things to the table and to bring these things to light, because we are capable of so much. We are beings of infinite potential, and a collective group of critical thinking human beings cannot be governed. And when we can't be governed, there's no need for government. There's no need for control. There's no need for the system, because we operate our own system from our heart. And we lean on each other, and we share our abundance. We share our smiles. We share our good times. We share our bad times. We share abundantly. We don't live in a place of scarcity. If someone needs help, no matter what color, race, religion, sex, you stick your hand out and help your fellow human. We have to come back to heart center and get out of this dualistic thinking, because it's so toxic, and I fear and I pray that this upcoming election, it's going to get darker before it gets light. The second wave of this virus is coming. And just because there's more people being tested positive does not mean there's more reason to panic. Naturally, if you have a whole society that's carrying this virus and more people are getting tested daily, even asymptomatic people, it's common sense that there's going to be more positive tests if more tests are being given. That doesn't up the lethality of it. Spiritually, the veil is so thin right now, and that's really what we're seeing playing out. And the three-dimensional layer of it is red versus blue or white versus black. But as you continue to climb up the ladder of different dimensional thinking and get outside of the linear thinking, it's really a spiritual warfare that's going on. And even on the spiritual plane, I guess it's good versus evil. Control, manipulation versus freedom and sovereignty. If we want to think on that linear plane, that's what's coming to fruition on this plane is that spiritual warfare and robbing us of our compassion and our empathy and our essence. We are allowing our hate to cloud our heart. And we are living from a toxic ego of disagreement and comparison and judgment, and the machine is playing it perfectly, and we're falling into it. It's easy to tug at heartstrings and say, if you don't wear a mask, you're not compassionate. If you don't do this, then you're a psychopath. If you don't do this, fill in the blank. What a disservice that we are doing thinking on that simple line. It's time to evolve. It's time to step into our power and our potential to create our own reality. You don't know what's best for me. I don't know what's best for you. But it's our duty to respect one another and allow those people to make their own choices. If you choose to wear a mask, if you choose to stay at home, if you choose to quarantine, more power to you. But if someone wants to live their life as a sovereign being and risk their family and whatever it is that you may think they're risking, then so be it. That's what sovereignty is about. If you're an at-risk person, maybe it's a good idea. But you have that choice. If you want to have faith that you've put in work with your health and taking care of yourself, and have faith that when it's your time, it's your time. Fear, to me, is the opposite of faith. And when you live in fear and you want to board yourself up in your house and wear a mask while you're driving in your car by yourself, to each their own. But I ask you, where's your faith in God? Because as you do that, the groceries you're having delivered to your house because you're in quarantine could be carrying that disease or that virus that is very real. It's very real. Just like the flu, just like a lot of other things that kill people on a daily basis. It is real. But the fear that's being driven and the over-sensationalizing of it and the back and forth of, you don't need to wear a mask, you need to wear a mask. If I'm going to be the president, then you have to wear a mask. And the president now is saying it's a sign of silencing the masses. And, there's so much conflicting information that you should be exhausted if you follow it. That's normal. It's normal to be conflicted and what the hell is going on. And that's why it's so important. And that's why I'm here to remind you that you and God are your only authority. Make choices that suit you, because your choices don't suit me and my choices don't suit you. Walk your own path. Live authentically. People will follow your lead. I'm not saying they'll do exactly what you do, but when you shine your authentic light from heart center and you allow people choices, which choice is freedom, then people respect that. And they don't infringe upon your thoughts. And if they do, it's not your burden to carry. It's theirs. It's something that they have, whether it's a control issue, hatred, whatever it is, it's not yours to carry. So live your life for you and your family. Make choices for you and your family. Don't worry about what your neighbor thinks. Don't worry about what everybody thinks. It's time to return to our soul essence and rise above this broken system and start creating solutions and new systems to put into place. Super long-winded, I'm sorry. If you're still with me at this point, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And if not, then I'm grateful for you too, for even tuning in. So I love you guys. Happy Sunday. Have a beautiful day.